Hello. You are very welcome to TAP148, where we're covering the first day of the Cheltenham Festival. Andy, Dec, and Luke, we all have our passports stamped. We're all going over for the week. Thoroughly looking forward to it. I believe it's the first week in March already. It's finally stopped raining, which is another good thing. But Dec, how are things? How are you?
Yeah, all good. Few more days in work now, and then we're all set to go. So
that's it.
It's been a hectic few weeks. February's flown in, hasn't it? Feels like
yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't feel that long since we were doing the DRF pod. So
that's it. It flies in.
Really looking forward to this festival. It has a wild look to it.
It does, yeah. It could be a few surprises in the horizon already, which is what we're hoping for. It's definitely has more of an open feel this year than it has in previous years. We're lucky to be joined by the one and only Luke Keena again. Luke, how are things? How are you, bud?
Yeah, sure. As they said earlier on, blowing pops up now and again.
Tell us what to do to me.
Yeah, that's it. Directing traffic. Very good. I know I'm better to do it though. Right, well, we're going to get into it in traditional circumstances. We'll go obviously day by day. This first pod 148 being the Tuesday, and then obviously 151 being day 4. And we'll have our best bets of each day, and then maybe at the end of day 4 we'll have our best bets all together. Or it depends how people are going to listen to this, because shelf life could be quite high. As a disclaimer, we're recording on Tuesday the 3rd of March. So a few of my betting odds throughout the bottom may have changed very slightly. Obviously, Marine Nationale being out of the Champion Chase doesn't help. And then there's a few other bits of news. I think Capisha Pike staying in Ireland also might hinder a few of the betting markets. But look, it is what it is. It's always ever changing at this time of the year as well, with a week to go from Cheltenham. We'll kick off with the traditional curtain raiser, lads. The Sky Bet Supreme Novices Hurdle over just over 2 miles. The first race now 1:20 start time. Was it 1:20 last year? Or was it half?
I think it was last year as well.
Yeah. I remember it nearly caught me out run up from the Arkle bar. I'm pretty sure.
And the big race at 4.
Yeah, I don't know about that now, to be honest with you.
No.
And then obviously changes to the first day, just like a boatload of handicap chases as well. Like that's
like the Tuesday was arguably the best day's racing of the year, and they've just gone and said no, you're having too much fun. We're gonna have to ruin that for you. Gonna put the points up again, and we're gonna change to Tuesday. So I don't want to see anyone with a smile on their face.
It'd be like Royal Ascot pretty much going, you know what, we're going to take the St. James's Palace and we're going to replace it with the Buckingham Palace handicap there. And so just so whatever Friday gets a nice extra group one there. But it is.
If you're enjoying it this year and it's working out well for you and you're having a really good time, don't smile, because they'll only take it off you.
Exactly. And God forbid you go and win a grade 1 with a hurdling debutant as well, or else they'll ban you from doing that as well. But anyway, fixing problems that don't exist is what English racing loves to do. So look, that's enough English racing bashing that we're going to do. We're going to get straight into it. Jack, I'm going to come to you first. The betting across the bottom there, Old Park Star currently are 2-1 favourite. We've talked in Mighty Park. Highly unlikely both of them show up in the same race, but you never know. Depends on what happens with owners. 9-2. Alcoira's drifting at 11-2 at the moment. You've got My Daddy Paddy at 10-1. Ballyfad, a potential to go in the Wednesday race with Idaho Sun leader Daddy Sober Glory, 12-1. And then I've tried to call bar a different thing every race, but for the first few, it's whatever you're having on the rest. Whatever you're having yourself, Deck. And that's usually where you are looking. You usually are a bar guy. So where are you taking me in the Supreme?
I'm absolutely in bar territory here now. Look, if Ballyfad was to turn up here, that could change. But I can afford to change because I have some really fancy figures there, and the post best. But now look, I would be back in Ballyfad wherever he goes, but the exchanges will tell you that, or are suggesting that he's heading to the Barding Bingham on the Wednesday. Look, the two for me, I feel like I just can't get enough of them. It's Heads Up and Blake. Like, we've been trying to what do you say? Manifest it. Is it trying to manifest Heads Up into this race all year? Like, he was second in the bumper last year. Before that, he split Calypso Chance and Castle Creek in a bumper, the listed bumper at Navan. He had bolted up at Punchestown before that. Bit of a surprise, but obviously proved he was a good horse. He made his hurdling debut at the Stall over 2 miles. He was like that day. He was very, very quick, very good over. Like he was nearly chanting. He was nearly like the way Constitution Hill was taking his hurdles. Like he was five and he was handling one. He was a bit novice at 2. We got down to the last, and he was quick again. I thought he was so good. Suddenly he was campaigned over staying trips at Cheltenham. He was so keen one of the days Danny Mullins couldn't settle it. But the first run at Cheltenham, he wasn't beaten that far by the great British Hope, the new Den man, the Nichols horse. What's he called? No drama.
No drama this end.
No drama this end. Like he wasn't beaten far by him, who looks a stare over 2 mile 5. The eventually seen sense after me and Luke bumped into 2 of the lads from the stable in Coppers after the DRF. And he was back at 2 miles the last day. I thought he put the race to bed, turning in. And Danny probably got a little bit lax, probably thought he won the race easily. And Lazar the Star came after him, who, look, I think he's quite a nice horse. And Danny said similar. But when he got to him, he just pulled out again. Like, he's a crazy price here. I think he's an absolute great chance. We still don't even know which of the ones at the top of the market are going to run here. Then with Blake, a 5-year-old, he was beating 8 lengths at Leopardstown in the Grade 1 at the DRF. He went to the last with a chance, and I just think it was the ground that beat him that day. And we know how bad the ground was. I think he's going to be a much better horse on good ground. He was just held by Cocktail Brute in the Royal Bond. His form has dipped since because he burst. So you can probably, Blake's another one who's a silly price. You could do worse all week now than having an each way bet on them. I do like Sartudo as well, but probably up in the air where he's gone. He's probably not going to go here. But look, I'm taking both of them here, Andy. Heads up and Blake.
Heads up and Blake, you can have them. You're all more than likely to have them. Heads up. Like, he was probably the equivalent of a child, like throwing a tantrum in a supermarket, the way he acted the second time at Cheltenham. I've never seen a horse but more unruly, and maybe it was there was a big delay that day.
They found a tunnel.
The horse just obviously didn't handle that. Maybe it throws a question about his temperament. I don't know, but
he's been to the festival and he's
ran well. He has ran well in the bumper. Yeah, everyone's gone home because no one cares about the bumper. But yeah,
and look, anytime you go to, he's been to Cheltenham twice since. Anytime you go to Cheltenham, there is a buzz about the place.
That's fair.
Like there's always a crowd at Cheltenham. It's not like going to meet in Ireland on a Saturday where it's a few of us mulling around the Parade Ring of Fairies or something on a cold November day. It always attracts a crowd. Now they're not always there for the racing, but they're there waffling and drinking anyway. It's creating noise and atmosphere. So, like, he's handled the festival. I wouldn't be worried about him. I think the HUD was on the last day.
HUD will stay on. I'd be shocked anyway. Yeah.
But the race is going to suit. If he gets to the start, the pace of the race is going to suit him down to the ground.
Yeah, and Old Park Star, obviously the big British hope here, 2-1. Look, he's visually looked very impressive, but he hasn't really tackled any of the protagonists towards the top of this market. Like, you can't really find a line between My Daddy Paddy and Idaho Sun, who have live enough chances. Does look a little bit like Altior in the way his kind of running style, but I think you're clutching at straws to be taking 2-1, I think, at the moment. Luke, I'll come to you now. Are you going down the list, or do you fancy it towards the top?
No, I'd be kind of going down the list, like as you're saying with Old Park Star. Like, he's been impressive and he kind of has had that Altior style of racing. But just what has he bet? Like, I'm not sure Hurricane Pat ran his race the last day, considering how close the third was behind him after he gave him a good hide in the Sandown the time before. I know the race will probably set up nicely for him. Sober Glory is probably going to kick on it, go good clip. Like, it's going to be a proper Supreme. Like, it's going to be verging on 20 runners here, isn't it? It's going to be nearly a full field. Talk the Talk done well to get up at Leopardstown the last day, but I just wonder if the two in front softened each other up after racing plenty early in the straight there. King Rascal Grey and Ballyfad. I'd be with Deck there with Ballyfad. Like, wherever he goes, I'll have something on him. I think he's very likeable. El Kairos, he was going to be a facile winner at Christmas before he took that speed wobble after the last. He done what he had to do in Clonmel before he indecisive at the last there, shall we say. I wouldn't really question his jumping. I'd like to see him in this race, but at the price he is, I'd probably leave him. I think he's one that could drift on the day and be a decent each way price come the day. But the one we fell down on was Leader Dalier. I think everyone and their granddad, as I was saying to Deck beforehand, is kind of latching on to this idea that Paul's going to ride him and he's going to be shorter on the day, which I do think he will be. He obviously came with a big reputation from France. He went out favourite at Christmas to beat Ballyfad, and a lot of Willies were taking the run at that time, and he was well bet on the day. But he looked a different horse at Punchestown, and it took Paul nearly till Nace to pull him up. The second, Straight John came out and won, and I know he's down to run tomorrow, so that might give it another little boost. I'd imagine he's going to take another good step forward from that race, and if Paul rides him, like he's going to be 6 or 7 to 1 max on the day. He's trading around 12 to 1 there at the minute. I'd happily take a chance on him each way.
Very good. Okay, so that's one for Leader Dalier and one for Heads Up. So nobody going near the top of the market.
I'd take him too, Andy.
Sorry, you can have Blake as well. Yeah,
absolutely. You know,
yeah.
Still, one of them still available at 300 on the exchanges.
Deeper than that tunnel you're going.
Ever since you collared the 2 lads that night after the DRF, it's been 2 miles for that lad.
Yeah, that's it. Very good. Yeah, no, the Supreme looks like one of the races of the week. Definitely. So much uncertainty, and you can go in so many different avenues. I do think Old Park Star's a horrible price, a 2 to 1. Like, I think this race is way too competitive to have a 2 to 1 favorite. It's nearly almost too competitive to have a 4 to 1 favorite, in my opinion. And I think if this race is about 10 years ago, there's a fair chance Old Park Star is probably 9 to 2, 5 to 1, Talk to Talk, El Kairos and all there, probably all closer to 7, 8 to 1. But this is the world we live in now at the moment, where everything with non-runner, no bet, it's all priced within an inch of its life. I think you're going to see the majority of these drift on the day. The one I am
to what?
Yeah, well, your lad's going to be drifting all the way to bleeding
to whatever you want.
Exeter. You fall asleep on the train, right? End up in Exeter. Right? Yeah. No, I think I'm going to be with Talk to Talk, to probably nobody's surprise. I've been so impressed with him really since that Grade 3 win at Fairy House. I don't have any doubt that he would have won at Christmas time, and if Jack Kennedy chooses to ride Ballyfad in the Berwyn Bingham, that will only confirm that he was going to win at Christmas time, because otherwise he'd be riding Scott I Hustle. And then I think at the Dublin Racing Festival, I can see your point about them getting racing early, Luke, but they walked around that track, and I don't think Talk had any right to win from where he was entering the home straight. He made up an awful lot of ground. And that's my slight worry about him, is did he probably have too hard a race actually running down 2 very, very good horses. But I think the race is going to be run to suit him. He's not going to want anything to do with that early pace, and he'll travel. You can make a question about his jumping, but I thought he was much better the last day, despite them going a good deal slower. But he took that last hurdle at some clip to catch the other 2. And as I said, I think he could win a champion hurdle next year. I've no doubt about it. So if I think that, I can't not back him here. I would give a shout out to a few others like Idaho Sun and My Daddy Paddy. I could see them improving for their runs at Aintree. Sober Glory, be interesting to see if he'd be able to keep up the gallop. I think he's going to go a borderline suicidal gallop though, if he wants it all his own way. And he seems to be at his best in front, but maybe I'm being a bit harsh there. Maybe he'd be able to take a lead. And then even Heads Up Deck, I think he's going to be out the back there with Talk to Talk. I could see them both travelling into the straight, and then just seeing whichever one's good enough. But I'm confidently with Talk to Talk. He's one of my better bets of the week. I'm just hoping I don't get scummed and he ends up in the Berwyn Bingham. But look, that such is life. I could understand that as well, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, just like when you analyse that race at the DRF, like, should he be going the Berwyn Bingham? Like, now, personally, I think if he'd have got to Ballyfad 50 yards out without coming around King Rascal Grey, Ballyfad would have went again, because Ballyfad was actually headed by King Rascal Grey and he took a length out of him then. I think if they'd have gone around again, Ballyfad would have been in front. I think if he race him in the Supreme or the Berwyn Bingham, I think he'll beat him this time. I think he was Now, and I'm not saying this because he done me out of a few grand in the photo finish, but
I shouldn't be laughing at that. I'm sorry.
I have got over it, but I think he done him. He hit him on the line, and he couldn't see him because he came round King Rascal Grey, and the only place you want to be in front is on the line, and that's where he got him. I think Ballyfad would have went again now if he'd seen him.
I don't disagree with you, but I do think Ballyfad's far more likely to be a stayer than Talk to Talk is. I think Talk to Talk used as one bit of speed, whereas, as you correctly said, Ballyfad and King Rascal Grey, and Luke said as well, they got racing early enough, and if Talk to Talk was the horse that we think he is, I wouldn't say there's many horses in training that would have picked both of them up, to be honest with you, from the position that...
I think Ballyfad could be a Gold Cup horse, so...
I wouldn't disagree with you. I wouldn't disagree with you.
You could be looking at a champion hurdler and a Gold Cup horse.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then King Rascal Grey, like he could be anything as well. Like he has obviously improved the rate of knots. So we're all over the shop in the Supreme, as like that basically tells you that there shouldn't be a 2-1 favourite in this race. Now he might go and win, but if he does, he does. Interesting start to proceedings. All right, on to the next race, lads. And speaking about horrible favourites, here we are again. Because I think since I've done this, I was right. Kopek de Board, your 7-4 favourite with Lulamba, but the exchange is now favouring Kopek de Board, who has had a bone taken out of his knee and hasn't been seen since November, but is yet favourite for a very competitive Arkle. I don't understand, but anyway, we've got Lulamba, Kopek de Board, Cargisi, who had an absolute haymaker of a race with Romeo Coolio. They're both in there at 9-2. Irish Panther, who could potentially go up against a load of bottom half English clubs in the champion chase, according to Eddie Hardy, is a potential runner here at 12-1, and then we Steel Ally at 14s, and then you can have whatever you like on the rest. Luke, I'll come to you first. Who do you like in the Arkle?
The one that you give no chance to, the Kopek, the boards. Like, I don't know, Lulamba was good the last day, but like I'm just not sure about him early on in the race. Like I think this is going to set up perfectly for Kopek. Although Lulamba bet his elders last day, he got behind the bridle there, turned in a Newbury, and Newbury and Cheltenham is going to be a completely different test. Like I think Kopek and Cargis, like they're the most likely front runners. I do think Irish Panther is going to deflect to the champion chase. So like Paul's going to be on Kopek, you'd imagine, and probably Danny on Cargis. They're not going to cut each other's throat. One's going to go on, and I imagine the other's going to sit second. I've no doubt that Romeo Coolio will probably be the best of these horses now come next year when he gets up and trip. But just over 2 miles here, I'd be worried about him. Like they had a haymaker, him and Cargis at Leopardstown last day, as you said.
Something else that was it.
Oh, it was Titanic. Like the two of them just took each other on from the start. And like when they were going down the back straight in Leopardstown, they were going toe to toe. Who was the horse back in third? The horse
down Mexico way. He was down Mexico way trying to follow them, I think. Anyway.
He was watching beside the ambulance on the way around. Like Darrow O'Keefe up on top. Geez, I leave these two at it. Like, but Romeo Coolio done well to win. Although Cargis did make a bad mistake at the last and kind of came back at him. But he always felt like Romeo had done enough. But yeah, Kopek de Boards, like last year, he kind of took everything in his stride last year before going to Punchestown, blowing out, and you'd always give.
He took a lot of hurdles home now in his maiden hurdle.
Yeah, but sure.
Yeah, he got Chris and kicked the boards on top of
him. Yeah. John Wayne was riding him that day, but he made no mistake at the DRF the time after. He bounced out in front, and that jumped 2 out last year to DRF, put that race to bed. He was faultless at Navan first time up. He bet Lovely Hurling that day. Yeah, Lovely Hurling, who's had an interesting campaign to say the least. But he was good that day, and by all accounts, like I know he had that little surgery or whatever, but like by all accounts, this lad was winging around. Did he go to Punchestown and Ferias, was it?
Punchestown for this Skilling race.
The bloke has missed 5 months of action or 4 months of action, little sir.
Like, but the other thing is, I believe you could run in a Skilling race in Ireland, and it could be like a Grade 1. Like you could turn up there, the Galloping des Champs could be in it, like you know.
Like, I think 4 Willies went around that day in Punchestown, and Perry Pass was in there. I don't know what the other 2 were.
Well, Luke, was it more of a gallop or was it a proper schooling race? Like, you know, a big field schooling race?
Apparently they went tat for tat now. Around
or was it just 4 of them?
Just 4 of them, yeah.
Right. So
Very
it
fast,
wasn't a
hey.
schooling race. Like,
No, it wasn't school race. No, the four of them went around after racing there one of the days in Punchestown, and they winged around. Like, I don't know. I think like Kopek and Kyrgyz, I think if they go setting a good pace early on, I think Lulamba could be on the back foot early, maybe prone to make a mistake. Like in Sandown, early against Be Aware, like if you'd backed him at short odds, you would have been looking from behind the couch now. Like I think Kopek's the best horse of these over this trip. I think I know you're going into a race here with a horse that's only run once over fences at 6-4, and you're thinking, how can you back that thing? But I just think he has all the class to beat these.
Right. Yeah, I don't like. I understand that. I just can't back him at 7-4 after having an operation and not been seen on the track since November. I do. What I would say about Lulamba though, like I think it's the worst thing that could happen to this horse is if he comes and wins this race and he's confined to 2 miles for the next 2 or 3 years, because he's absolutely no doubt about a staying chaser. I hope he runs well though. He's a horse of a lot of time for it. He could be a future Gold Cup horse in my opinion as well when he sees a trip, because I think he's an awful lot of class.
Should be running your favourite race next year, Ryanair.
Which the Ryanair, they probably will. Like I don't hate that for Lulamba though, because he is only a 5-year-old.
he's only a 5-year-old.
Yeah, like you wouldn't be running him in the Gold Cup. You could maybe run him at 6, but
In France they would.
Jack Adam was the last 6-year-old I can remember in the Gold Cup. Was he a 6-year? He wasn't he, when he won the Thyestes and went to the Gold Cup?
Beaten by a novice.
Yeah.
Tony Green, Road to Riches.
Yeah. Right. Enough reminiscing, Deck. Who do you like in the Arkle?
Look, I can't have Kopek the boards at all. Like at any price, doesn't matter what price he is. Like you need some experience over fences if you're going to run a Grade 1 on the old course, particularly over 2 miles. Like he was visually very impressive at Navan, and he did jump really, really well. But you have to remember, nothing in that race wanted to finish anywhere near him. So, like, he just schooled around. It wasn't really a test. Oh, look, we heard he skilled well, but like they can pull up trees at home. Like, it's on the track where it matters, and it's such a test on the old course over fences. I just couldn't back him off the back of one run, which is last November. Kyrgyz and Romeo Coolio, I'd be struggling. Like I don't know. I actually don't know what race I'd back Romeo Coolio for. I couldn't back him for the Broadway either. Like he was outpaced, and then it looked like he wasn't staying at the end. And the mare Kyrgyz, although she improves into her season, which she proved to do last year, she did only end up winning a handicap at the festival, and she kind of showed us that she's not very well at Leopardstown. I don't know what she was up to, so I couldn't really have her. Look, if Irish Panther turns up here, I think he's going to be very, very tough to beat. He's so much speed. He beat Jacob's Ladder on Chase debut over 2 miles, and look at that form. It's probably the strongest piece of form we have on offer for what he's done. He was just run down by Romeo Coolio in the Grade 1 at Christmas. I'd fancy him to beat Romeo Coolio, but look, I'd have it between him and Break My Soul. And like, we can't forget this Chase debut performance ads. She was the first leg of the double of the decade. Remember, the double of the decade only comes around once every 10 years, so you have to come back to us.
Once every 10 episodes on this show.
Look, she was so good that day, and we haven't seen the sun since, and she is a mare. I'm prepared to forgive her. Mares can be funny creatures. I do think she wants better ground. I think a bit of sun in her back now the last few weeks is going to do her the world of good. The bit of good ground is going to really, really help her. She's way too big a price. She's another one at mad numbers now on the exchanges. Yeah, like she was back to herself the last day. I don't think Keith was getting overly busy on her. I think the race was, she could have been an awful lot closer now if she wanted it, but I'm hoping now, if anyone who runs her in the handicap, she's never coming on this show again. Absolutely no way. We'll be deleting that stable tour off YouTube as well. Like, surely she has to run. This is a mare who she fourth at Punchestown in the Grade 1 behind Stateman. She's fourth at Aintree as well, isn't she? She wasn't too far off Lossie Mount at Aintree. She ran an absolute cracker.
That was her career best.
Yeah, and she probably just didn't see the trip out. This is the race for her. If she can jump like she did at Gowran, she's going to be bang there. I'd have a, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Irish Panthers run here, that would be between the two of them.
Yeah. Well, she's
another one.
125 to 1 back best
Take
price.
take the big price and throw her into the multiple, because you have to go back and watch that performance at Gowran. We've had a shit winter, and mares can be funny creatures. The bit of sun on her back now the last few days, I'd say she's bouncing.
There we go.
I hope she's bouncing.
With a bit of luck, fingers crossed. It's a bold show. There's one horse that's been completely slept on in this market, in my opinion. It's actually a British horse, Steel Alloy, who's the one I'm going to go with in the Arkle. I think this is a serious horse now. He's an 8-year-old, so he's probably very much a here and now horse. Don't know if he'll be as good as a few of these next year, like I take Luke's point to Romeo Coolio. Flew around Carlisle to beat Unexpected Party in a graduation chase on his chase debut, and Pat Daru. Like, to be honest, they're all a bit hairy now, and I'm pretty sure Unexpected Party's gone hunter chasing. So, probably that's not really going to pull up too much stumps. But if you go back and watch his run in the Noel Novices Chase at Ascot, now that was over 2 mile 4. But he's absolutely murdered, pushed a button, and no questions asked. And then Jax Jr., who is a serious chaser now, but it looks he went and won at Kempton there 2 weekends ago for Lucy Wadham. That was a really strong run. And then he's gone and won the Kingmaker. He's made one kind of bad mistake, but other than that, he was brilliant. Went out and won that by 10, 11 lengths. Only a 3-1 run a race. But Luke made a very good comment about Danny and Paul not wanting to cut each other's throats on Cargisi and Kopek the board. And if they had the balls and they let Steel Alloy just go and try and make all the running, he's got the speed to do it, and he has that back class. We know he gets 2.5 balls from the race he won at Ascot. He is by Dr. Dino as well, so that's an even added bonus. I think this is a serious horse now, personally, and I would be fairly confident he's going to hit the 3. He is a horse he could possibly back each way now, because I think this race is going to seriously cut up. We've 19 in it as we speak, but how many could you see running in it, lads? Like, when we look at it, like Be Aware, Down Mexico Way, Hansard, they're all handicap bound. Probably Irish Panther could be in the champion chase. Jax Jr. is not going to run. Capricia Pike won't run. So your first 2 definite runners are Kopek, the board, and Lulamba. Mambo number 5 is handicap entered, probably won't run. Mirabad might run, but probably won't. No questions asked. Port Julian might be a runner. Then you've Romeo Coolio, Salvador Mundi. 6 Mile Bridge won't. Then you've Steel Alloy. Break My Soul probably is a runner. July Flower probably is a runner. Cargis. So you're probably looking at maybe 7, 8 runners. I'd be backing him each way now with his 3 places, and I'd be fairly disappointed if he was out of the 3, if he put in a clear round. So I'd be confidently with Steel Alloy. And then Deck, it's Break My Soul for yourself and Kopek the board for Luke, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now
Awesome.
look, if Irish Panther does run here now, I would be having a bet on them.
Yeah, I've gone on the assumption that they're going to run the champion chase now, but could be a bit bold and it could look a bit silly. But yeah, I would be.
Oh well, look, Eddie came out swinging today, didn't he? So
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Press release was hardly out. The Marine National was out.
It's almost like it is literally like football. It's like the fourth official put the board up and Barry Connell came jogging off the pitch and Eddie Harty straight on puts the sign of the cross.
It wasn't even Patrick. I assumed it was Patrick and I read it.
Yeah, like basically calling Quilixios West Ham and say we'll give it a go. Like we have Brentford here. They're all right. Oh, very good. Right. On to the Juvenile Handicap Hurdle. Next up, the Mackay Contractors Juvenile Handicap Hurdle, obviously known as the Fred Winter. I found this race difficult now, to be honest with you. Speaking about anti-post markets and horses drift, and this market is priced within an inch of its life. I would be shocked now if most of these end up the same price. Like most of these are going to drift. They can't not. And I do think Saratoga is another favourite you probably want to be taking on. He's probably the worst kept secret now of the anti-post books. I don't think the handicapper's done him any favours personally. If he goes and wins this, then that means Highland Crystal must be a, you know, if she got all the weight off in the Don Runner at Triumph Hurdle, like you'd be stepping over people to try and back her, to be honest with you. But Dak, I'll come back to you first. Saratoga's your 5-1 favourite of Manlaga and Winston Jr., Selma Devassi, Munsif. A few of these probably could be Triumph bound. Glen to Glen, who's one I think has a very good chance now for Joseph O'Brien. But who do you like?
If Highland Crystal, is there any chance for running in here? Because
no, I'd be surprised.
I'd be surprised as well, but she is in here, and I think she's awesome now. I think she's so tough, and I think she's probably going to win whatever race she turns up in. Look, I don't know whether Secret Force is going to get in. He's number 42 or something. What was Maxfield at 24, is it?
43, Dak. He's 43.
43. Like, he's rated 124. Is this because the Irish handicappers putting them up so quickly, and then they're still getting the tax, like, or have we just a larger number of entries? What's going on?
This race is handicapped really weird this year, because I think 117 or 118 got in last year, and now like you're looking at a rating in the mid 120s, and you haven't got a prayer.
Yeah. Like it's 117 is low.
Volatile.
Yeah, 117 is low for it, but 121, 122 I'd say would usually get you in. But here we are, 124, and he needs
touch and go. Yeah,
needs 20 to come out. But look, he bolted up on his hurdle debut. We had Ultra High back in second and Adrienne back in third. He's had 2 runs in Britain since without getting overly busy in both. He was held up both times, and that may have helped him get a mark of 124, which is going to keep him out of the race. So maybe they'll look back and go, right, who'd have thought that would have happened? But geez, I think if he got in, I think it'd be an absolute good thing if he got in now. But I'd say it will be touch and go. Kilmeaden, there's been an awful lot of talk about the maiden winner back in January. He was 15 lengths that rated hurdle at Nice, getting £3 off Highland Crystal. He gave Saratoga £4 that day. I can see a lot of money coming for him on the day. Look, the one I like who should get in, you better get in, 131 surely gets you in.
You're in, you're no problem.
Yeah, Ben Hall. 14 lengths off Narciso has at Christmas. Was a maiden winner before that. Second to Barbizon the run before that. With Glen to Glen, 10 lengths behind. We spoke about Noel Meade having a select, number of jump horses now. He's gone more towards the flat, but he also said you can possibly back them blind wherever they go, because Noel Meade knows the time of day, and yeah, I think Ben Hur could go really, really well here.
Ben Hur then for Deck. The one I kind of came down on was Glen to Glen. He's a proper speedball. Like, he ran over, like, he actually won over 6 furlongs as a 2-year-old for Jim Bolger. And by Don approach, I just thought he looked like a much improved horse. With taking prominent tactics for the first time. He kind of was prominent for a little while at Navan, but he took prominent tactics at Cork, beat Ole, was 16 to 1 shot, but was well back from big prizes.
He was fortunate that day, though, wasn't he? When the Manwar, the Miran.
He was. And look, that he looks like a nice horse, though. Like, what he's. He's not entered. I don't think he's.
Yeah, they're on the same mark. They're about 129.
Yeah,
we don't know race at Christmas now, but he did run well to be second that Gowran a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, no, he'd definitely be on the list as well. But I'm not 100% sure Glen to Glen has showed his hand. It was much more like it, and I think you can only really judge him on that hurdles run, as opposed to the first 2 where he was 5th and then 7th. So I think there's plenty more to come from him, and Joseph O'Brien has obviously won this race a few times. So I'd take a chance on Glen to Glen, but to be honest with you, this is a race I'd be happy to stay comfortable in the Arkle bar. So Luke, up to you. Who do you like?
Yeah, I'd be kind of following you in there. It's not a race that I'd be getting stuck into. Like, as you mentioned about Highland Crystal, Saratoga, Munsif, they all ran that race, and I think a lot of people are reading into that race has thrown up a few winners for this race. That one at Naas, Gordon's mare showed a great attitude to win that, but you'd just be worried that she mightn't. turn
Can
up
I make
here.
a quick unpopular opinion? And you can say what you want about Mark Welch or Saratoga or whatever, but I think the horse threw that away. I think he
You'd have a
completely.
chance to win at the same
I
time.
think
Yeah.
we're saying Mark was doing everything he could not to win the
I
race.
thought he's
I
doing
don't know
everything good to win the bleeding race, and
I don't know what race you were watching. Yeah,
yeah, like if anything, his most eye-catching run was his hurdles debut where he didn't jump a twig, and
Yeah.
I've never seen a change of pace like it. But
yeah.
either there's two things here: either Saratoga's chucked in off 130, which could be correct, but if you're taking that, like I don't know how you can't ignore Highland Crystal for wherever she goes. Like she'd win pretty much any race she's entered in if Saratoga's as good as people think he is. But anyway,
yeah,
sorry,
I'd be with
sorry,
you on that.
Luke. Yeah.
Like 130 for him, I wouldn't be in a rush to back him now, to be honest. The one that I liked another horse in the JP colours for Nikki Mantlaga. I thought she was very good at Haydock the last day. I know the horse in front made a mistake 2 out, and that probably helped her, but she really did pick up now to get on his girth now going between the last two, and I thought Brian Hughes is only flapping away now between the last two. He knew he had the race in the bag. He won by 2.5 lengths in the end. I thought she was a lot more valued than 2.5 lengths. She went up to 130 after that. I don't think that's without her reach. I thought like she's hovering around 7, 6, 7 to 1 there. I'd be happy enough to have a few quid on her, but it wouldn't be anything drastic now.
Yeah, this is just have a fun bet and kick on, maybe do a few forecasts, or we should probably do that again this year, Deck, will we?
Yeah, that was good.
A few quid away, yeah. Maybe bring the videos back. Luke, you're more than welcome to join us.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I'll stick with you then, Luke, for the Trust Marquee Ultima handicap chase. The first of 3 handicap chases now on the Tuesday. Jaguar, which I probably shouldn't be as bullish, but I think this is bar a fall, a 4-1. Iroko, I suppose the connections just can't help themselves with handicap chasers. Like I think both of these horses should be rated way higher than what they actually are. Maybe Iroko's found his ceiling now, but who knows? Handstand's a possible runner at 8-1. He's entered all over the shop. Probably a testament to how strong the Gold Cup is that he's right up the top of the market in all of these handicaps. Last year's winner Moiratown and Wendigo in here as well. Highland King, Highland and then King of Answers in there as well at around 12-1 with Kubisios and Johnny Who. Backmere Sackme was likely National Hunt chase bound with Confusion. 16's bar then. Luke, I'll stick with you. Who do you like?
Yeah, I'm kind of singing from the same hymn sheet as you with Jaguar there. Like, I think you could just go win this off 152, and it's very good of them to throw Rocco in there to keep the weights up for him. You get in off 11-9.
No, it's his national prep, Luke. What are you talking about keeping the weights in? It's his preparation.
Yeah, national prep, 11 nice run around, not sighted. But he's 13 pounds higher than he won the novice 2.5 mile last year. Like he's off 152 there. I think he is a bit better than that. I think the step up in trip is going to be a big help for him. I think he just has a bit more class than 152, and he's only 7 at the same time. I know he probably should have won the last day now against Donica and Cheltenham, and you'd be a bit disappointed that he didn't go by. But I just think he's a winner here.
Why didn't go by anyway?
Yeah, but one of the bigger prices, I know he's entered in the Kim Yor, he's entered all over places. The last horse he actually mentioned there was King of Answers for Lucinda Russell and Peter Scudamore. Obviously, they've had a good record in the race the last few years with Moiratown and Cork Rambler, won it back to back. He's won 2 of his 4 over fences, and they obviously thought a bit of him as a novice because they ran him in that 3 mile grade 1 novice at Aintree in his novice season. He's 2 for 4 over fences. Both of them wins came at Kelso, but I think more importantly it was that he got out and he was able to not boss the race, but he was up there in the van both times. He's a strong stayer at the trip, so I could see why they might be why they'd be tempted by a National Hunt chase maybe, but I just think under similar tactics to Moiratown last year, he's around double figures, aim each way if you don't want to play the favourite here.
Okay, interesting one. Right, Tech, are you towards the top of the market or are you bar again? As I said, I don't know how Jaguar was beaten on trials day. Like I probably got one of the most negative rides I've ever seen in my life. As I said, I would have backed this horse in a Ryanair, and never mind an Ultima or a plate or wherever he's going to rock up. But who's your fancy in the Ultima?
Look, I can see where you are coming from with Jaguar, but he was beaten the last twice, and it's kind of stuck with me, like, and he could just bump into one again. Look, the one I landed on was the Canadian horse trained by Paul Nichols, Quebecois. How do we say this?
The Canadian horse.
Quebec, was it?
Quebecois.
Quebecois.
Yeah, that's a state in Canada, I'm sure. Quebecois.
Quebec. Yeah, I don't know if it's right. Quebec. Yeah.
Yeah, look, there was an inquiry there last day, and Harry Copton said all the right things. We had bounced back to form at Cheltenham before when he was just done in the photo finish. Right, that was back on trials day. He's a hurdle winner off 131, beating John Ballon, who's, there's a lot of talk about John Ballon after having a nice prep in the Up the Yard Challenge, heading towards the likes of the Martin Pipe or the Coral Cup maybe. But now I like Quebecois having, suddenly bounced back to form and then given it quite enough ride now the last day. Harry Copton not getting overly busy, but it was down to the ground. He's stepping up to 3 miles here. I think he could run a really nice race for the master trainer, Paul Nichols. Further down, the other one I liked was Deep Cave. Now, he could run in the Kinmore as well, but just on Deep Cave, he won a big handicap chase at Ascot just before Christmas off 139. He got £1 for winning that race. There's horses in Ireland finishing third, getting £3. He's still only £1 higher. If he could win a race off £1 lower, like, surely he's not going to be without a chance. We know Christian Williams is extremely good at winning big handicap chases and being able to keep their mark down. So I do think he will run a big race either here or in the Kinmore. Of the Irish in the field, or maybe Blaze the Way.
Don't forget them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We don't get. There's a lot of things we don't. There's a lot of things as a nation that we don't care about. But right up the top of that list is the Ultima.
Yeah, it's the Ultimate.
Couldn't give a rat's about this race as a nation.
Look, we'll Blaze the Way anyway. Yeah, sure. Look, we'll leave it. Move on to the next. I barely watched this race.
Exactly. Oh, very good. Right, moving on to the main event of the Tuesday, the Unibet Champion Hurdle Challenge Trophy over just over the 2 miles. A very open feeling to this year's renewal. Obviously, we're less Constitution Hill and State Man, which is a real pity, but it's so open. And we have the new line at the top of the market at around, as I get my betting up, at around 2-1. Lossiemouth 5-2, Bright Days Ahead 3-1, Golden Ace, the defending champion at 6 is Poneros somehow 8-1. Where'd that come from? You have Alexi Anzadam and Tutti Quanti, who requires supplemental, but it sounds like it's going to happen in there at 16s. Ballyburn, good laugh, 20-1, and then it's a lottery ticket for the rest. Deck, I'll come back to you, sure, why not? Champion Hurdle, I would imagine you're going to be with the defending champion if I had to take a guess, but who do you like?
Look, I think you're an idiot if you just haven't been backing her all winter. If you're into anti-post betting and you haven't been backing her, you're an absolute clown, because doubts about everyone else. She's won it last year. She was fortunate, but we knew State Man was out. She chased State Man home at Punchestown. She's come out, she's won the fight in 5th, and people still didn't want to back her. You could be sitting on really nice each way prices by now. And like, now that I have backed her through the winter, like, I have found myself wondering about Brighter Days Ahead. That, like, if she were to go here, she was behind Golden Ace in the Dawn Run, but there was lots of talk about the ride on her and Jay DeGrugi, and did they just not respect Golden Ace? She was probably over the top in the race last year, but she did turn in chasing State Man. She's growing into this season. First of all, I think Gordon Elliott has done an amazing job for her to get her back and to go and beat Lossiemouth at the DRF. I think Gordon's really shown his class as a trainer this year and his quality. And I hope he goes on, and I hope he's a brilliant Cheltenham, and I hope he goes on and he wins the trainer's title in Ireland, because, like, as I said before a few times, his horses always look so well, his staff look happy, and he's doing an amazing job this year, and I do think he's done an exceptional job with Lukey's mare now to get her back to where she is. But there is that niggling doubt about Cheltenham. Does she like it? And while there might be the two excuses, we know Golden Ace likes it, and she's unbeaten at the festival. She's 2 from 2, and that's who I'm going to be with here. I will have an each way bet as well on Cashel Lad. He's only a 6-year-old. He's 4 from 9 over hurdles. He was far from done with when he fell at the last in the last or the second last in the Hatton's Grace. He was beaten 6 lengths by Lossy Mouth and Brighter Days Ahead at Christmas, but he's a 6-year-old who's improving. He's probably going to be the pacemaker here, but look, we've seen young horses improve before. It may be a year or two soon for him. He may be a champion hurdle horse next season, but at the prices he's available at, have a little each way betting him. But yeah, Golden Ace is the one to be with for me.
Golden Ace down for deck. Luke, anything on the new line maybe, or are you looking at one of the mares?
The new line, I'm just not sure what he's done this season. Like he fell in the Fighting Fist at Newcastle, but I wasn't sure how well he was going at the time. Obviously, I think he might just want a bit further. He won the last day. They crawled around, obviously with Sergino exiting the race early down the back straight. Like he didn't exactly blow me away when he won that day. But I think, as Deck was saying there, I'm going to go in now into Cheltenham on the Tuesday. I'm going to get my Jigginstown scarf to go on my Shively Park one here in preparation for Brighter Days Ahead winning this. I'm not sure if Lossy Mouth will run. She looks to have a good as a shoe-in the Mare's Hurdle if she goes that way. But Brighter Days Ahead, like, I just see the betting going across the bottom there. Like, she's the outsider of the three of them there, and like she bet Lossy Mouth the last day fair and square. Like, anytime Lossy Mouth's run over 2 miles, I think she's just lacked a bit of early pace, like, and she's always been behind the bridle. Paul said after Leopardstown the last day, like, the only for Jack got a breather in after the second last, like he was out with the washing. I thought she didn't dip the tank as much as she did at Christmas last year. I think she's probably the classiest of these, I'd say anyway. She's very good last day. She came on plenty from Christmas. It's just that nagging doubt about Cheltenham. But as Deck was saying, you can excuse the two of them if you want. Like, after Christmas last year, and Sam really bottomed her out at Christmas. Like, it was an unbelievable performance to put that much daylight between herself and have State Man, like, drunk coming down to the last where Winter Fog was challenging him for second in the year before, and Paul and Jack were kind of half looking at each other, and Golden Ace probably just got away from the two of them. I chance her. She's the biggest price of the three of them there. I chance her against them again. Like, Panairas in there at 8-1. I just can't see that myself.
Is Brighter Days, is Golden Ace shorter than Brighter Days Ahead?
No.
But
I just mean out the new line Lossy Mouth. Like, she's the biggest price of the three of them, and I just wouldn't have her as the biggest price of them.
Disrespecting Golden Ace again. The
I
reigning
head,
champion didn't even get a mention of you.
I was going to absolutely disrespect her to the hills now until you put her up there now, to be honest. So I said I'd keep my mouth shut now, and I'll keep the pie from being slapped over me on the Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I thought the new line showed a different dimension to himself in winning the international hurdle just by the kind of speed he's shown, because he was a long way off 2 150 rated horses, but like, they really went slow, and I wouldn't imagine there was many horses that'd be able to pick those horses up after the speed they went. I think it was who was it? It was the Nemean Lion and
Brentford
horse
Hope,
Brentford Hope, yeah.
Now being retired, who was retired this morning, but
is he retired? Was he?
Keep going, Andy. Yeah, he was retired this morning after he ran at the weekend.
All right, okay.
Now, like, when I said Amsterdam put the head down and beating the main line, you laughed at me. Now we're making using the main line to.
I never said the new line. I never said I was tipping the new line. I just said he showed another dimension to himself.
Do you want to tip up Amsterdam at 20-1 here? No.
I'm not gonna tip him up, but I think you're gonna see a Goliath gamble on him. I could
On
just
Amsterdam.
on Amsterdam. I think you're going to see a melon-like move for him on the day.
I thought that, but Jesus, it's been bad.
Yeah, but like remember how bad Mellon was in the Irish Champion
I
Hurdle?
do remember I do remember how bad Mellon was. He was very, very bad. But I just thought Amsterdam was kind of giving Arctic Fire vibes, and I thought he'd grow into the season. Like we've seen nothing. Like there hasn't even been a glimmer, really. Like
What's
we've
the
tried
chance he
to
runs
see.
in the handicap?
Oh, he ran away with Paddy down the back. Oh, that'd be brilliant the next day. And then we seen something else. Like I was like, oh, should he put the head down and beat the main lion? And when you look back here, you're like, maybe he's just useless. You know,
he's in the county as well.
We're all trying to see an angle into Willie having. We've seen Willie do this before. Willie's had a very, very poor season, and I couldn't be confident about any of his going into Cheltenham because, like, some of them have won first time out and ran like they've needed a run the next time. It's been so unlike Willie, and for a long time I was thinking he'll get them right. I'm not confident he'll have them. Like he'll win races, but I'm not sure he'll have them firing. Like they're so consistent at Cheltenham. It's just bang, bang, bang. I don't think we'll see it this year because it's been very unlike Willie what we've seen this season. And I know there's genuine reasons for it. And look, you can't keep doing it every year. Like, but I was one of the ones making this case for Amsterdam and seeing the big gamble. I just think, just forget about it now. And I just. I would be very, very surprised if it was now. I was angling for that. I was talking that one up, and it's been such an unlike Willie Mullen season that it's getting harder and harder to see these things happen now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait, no, you're right. The Champion Hurdle, the way I've kind of broken it down, I've said this in a few podcasts, is you can nearly sit back and back anything at 25-1 or over and just sit back and relax, and you probably have as good a chance as any. And I still believe that, but with the way the race is cut up, I'd be nearly taking a chance on the handicappers. I think you could see, I could see Alexi running a career best, and I could definitely see Tutti Quanti if he gets supplemented, and that's where I'm going to go. If he gets supplemented, I'm going to back him. I know he's only going to win a Betfair Hurdle or a William Hill or whatever they call it these days at Newbury. He's only going to win that off 138 or 139 or something. He's got a stone for it, but like he's absolutely murdered them from the front. And his question is, and I think this is what people are kind of failing to see. The question is, how good is Tutti Quanti? We know he's rated 151.
Is he going to need a heavy ground?
I don't think he does. I think it's just been the way the season is, the way the kind of cookies crumble for him. I think he's matured into a lovely horse. I don't know how good he is. He's rated in the low 150s. I think there's at least 10, 11, 12 pounds improvement in him. Whether we see that on the Tuesday at the Cheltenham Festival is another question. But I think when it's all said and done, he could get to 160, get to 160 odd. And if he does, that puts it bang there, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does. Is he guaranteed to be supplemented, though, if the forecast...
Paul Nichols said he'll run in the Champion Hurdle if it's good to soft or worse. So that says to me, like...
It won't be better than good to soft.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's getting supplemented, whether we like... He's almost a certainty to be supplemented.
The owner has it.
Yeah, and they were sporting enough as a completely unfurnished horse to run him as an experience, and maybe that's why people are off on him. Like they ran him in the Supreme last year, and the horse he missed time last year. He finished sixth. He was badly tailed off, but came home really well. Won a little novice event to Foss last. They brought him back a bit early. Wasn't quite ready for the Welsh Champion Hurdle. Has gone on and won a Jerry Field, in which Eputant won on her way to winning this, and then she's gone and won a Betfair Hurdle, or again whatever it's called these days, and that race has been used to win Champion Hurdles in the past. It's by no means a stellar renewal. Anybody would tell you that, and in my opinion, you should be looking at the handicappers, or at least the horses that are unexposed. And Alexi and Tutti Quanti fit that bill, but for this case, it's going to be Tutti Quanti. I think I could be looking silly here, but at least his question is, we don't know how good he is. Like the new line, is he a 2 miler? Lossiemouth probably won't run, as you said. Bright Days ahead, Cheltenham queries. Golden Ace, even though she won it last year, is she able to run to 160 with the mare's allowance? there could be something to pass around. Poneros doesn't have the experience or the speed, in my opinion. I've already mentioned Alexei Anzadam, we think is a headbanger gone at the game. And then you're at Tony Quanti. Like, his question mark is how good he can be, and that's good enough for me. So I'll take that. And it's what's it for yourself, Luke, against Brighter Days Ahead, obviously, and then Deck, just a recap of yours.
Look, all you can do is keep winning champion hurdles. It's all nice for me, but I will have an each way bet on Cashel lad.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good, very good. Right, on to the new race on the Tuesday. We were used to have a novices handicap chase on the Tuesday, not to 145, and now it's just for open horses. So the Sun Race and Play handicap chase, Luke. Madara, who people have been kind of questioning all year. Very eye-catching run at Kempton. Is that good enough for you here, or what's your thoughts? The Irish equivalent, McClory, in there at 6-1, who's mugged us off a few times this season. The trial winner, Donica, and then another horse that's mugged us off, Waterford Whispers, and then a horse that I've probably too much time for, Slade Steel. So who do you like here?
Yeah, as you're saying, McClory, me and Decker stood in the stands in Nace, and he properly mugged us off now. Drifted out, and we were like, Ash, we'll back it again.
At least it was quick.
That went well for us anyway. But he's 51 here. Surely he's not going to get in. But as you were saying about that skeleton horse, geez, this thing at Kempton at the last day was a sight to be seen, shall we say. He got into the bottom of the last tree, and I think Harry was happy enough now to let him get in and fiddle his way over. After he gave him a little squeeze after the last. It was all looking after him up the straight now, and he was fourth all the way up, and after the last he gave him a little squeeze, and sure we finished second there by 6.5 lengths. Like, this horse won the 2-mile race at the DRF in 2023, wasn't it, when trained by Sophie Leach? That was off 130 odd. He's up to 140 now. I think that run the last day showed there was enough promise there. Like 5-1, you're not stealing any value here, but I think this one just might be a one that's hard to beat, and I think Harry's going to have a good week in the handicaps, and this probably is his first leg of them.
Right, so the favourite then for Lukey, Madara. Deck, who's your fancy?
Look, what? You hope McLaury doesn't get in, because I couldn't back him after his run in the county last year, and like, we spoke about him a lot on here. I think he's a lot of class, and he's potential graded chaser, potential grade 1 chaser if he's let do his thing. But I couldn't be confident going to Cheltenham after his run the last season. I like Di Capo in here. We've spoken about him a bit this season. We've actually spoken about him for a few years, Andy. And you tried to mug me off there last night and asked me how old he is, but he's still only a 7-year-old.
I was actually taking it to the Capo Glory, but anyway. Yeah.
Look, he won a decent looking beginners at Leopardstown at Christmas 24. He beat Guida Bourbon in there. I can't remember who else was in there. He was well held in the Jack Richards last year, but he did win a very, very competitive handicap chase at Punchestown. Small enough field, kind of a select field, but it was a really, really good handicap, I thought. He ran quite well in the Tim Duggan. He was beaten when he unseated, and then he was 4 lengths fourth in the 2.5. Was it 2 mile 5?
5, isn't it? Yeah.
2 mile 5. Look, this horse still has time in his side, and I've always, half thought he could be a potential Gold Cup horse, and he could be next year, and he could go there, and he'd take this race in on his way. I do like the Capo here. Right
then, to Capo for Deck. I was nearly at a loss with this race now, to be honest with you. I struggled. I wonder what price Jacob's Ladder would end up being if they came here off the back of winning a grade 3, was it, at Navan there on the weekend. Like, it'd be a 10-day turnaround. He's entered in everything as well. He's entered, he's everything. Yeah, absolutely. I did struggle with this race. I could give a chance to Slade Steel, and I know we're kind of slagging him there at the top, but like, he is a Supreme Novices winner at the course and distance. Obviously with the exception of them being fences now, they're hurdles. I don't think he's a bad chaser. I think he's bumped into some very nice horses. He's a 143 rated chaser. He's 146 in the UK, 151 rated hurdler. Like, he doesn't jump badly and he's below his hurdles mark, which just makes me think there's probably a bit of wiggle room and a handicap for him. And I think with Cocktail Divan in the novice race, I wouldn't be surprised if Slade Steele came here, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was a few quid from on the day. He'd be a tentative selection. And in the other one I quite liked, although I think his participation might be in doubt because he ran at Newbury last weekend, is Blow Your Wad. He's around 20 or 25 to 1, depending on where you look. He's rated 144, was second, but quite an eye catch behind Cheltenham on the 28th of February there last Saturday. That was only his second run for Gary and Josh Moore. His first run was in the Ascot Chase as a 33 to 1 poke. He ran quite well behind John Bon, was beaten about 15 lengths. If he was coming here off the back of running just behind John Bon, I'd say he would have been near favourite. But obviously they went to Newbury last weekend, which again kind of tempers enthusiasm a little bit. But if he was able to turn out quick and he got declared, I would imagine there might be a few quid from him, because he's definitely well handicapped. He's gone up £4 for that run at Newbury, and that's a fair old hike from the British handicapper the way he operates these days. So Blow Your Wad got entered and was turned around quick. I'd give him a chance, but if not, I might give a chance to Slade Steele, assuming he runs. Right, on to the National Hunt Chase then, lads, which concludes day one. I don't think we haven't agreed on anything.
Yeah, which, you know what? It's looking like that sort of festival, and I do think for anyone who like maybe only bets at the festival, or like, don't go mad. This is going to be a long week, I think, and we've had many years now where a lot of favourites are going in and it's looked easy, and it's looking back to his best this year, and being one the most unpredictable 4 days racing of the year, as competitive racing should be. So yeah, it's a long week. It's probably a week for doing each way multiples, big prices, some each way doubles. You might make a few quid, and it's a sort of week where you might only need to back one winner to be ahead at the end of it. So I know we probably have people listening tonight that have never listened to us, but don't be silly this week, and remember, we'll find you winners every other week of the year when it's much easier, and they'll be big prizes as well.
Yeah, we won't be cutting our losses just yet. We might find you winners here. So
we absolutely will find you winners here, right? But when we let you off the leash, don't go mad.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So the 520, the concluding race on the first day, National Hunt Challenge Cup Novices Handicap Chase. Bit of a farce this race now as well, but look, what can you do? Just show you the 3 mile 6, not to 145 bracket. And here's us saying we might find you winners at big prices, but Deck, you might know, I probably said this on previous podcasts, I've always been a fan of Back Near Sackby for this race, and I wasn't expecting him to go and win at the Dublin Racing Festival. Maybe the ground really helped him, but he wasn't stopping at that line, and I think the further he goes, the better. Major improvement in him up in trip. He's our 9-2 favourite at the moment. Newton Tornado in here, second in for last year's winning trainer, Rebecca Curtis. He's 2 from 4 over fences after winning at Doncaster the last day. Probably not the strongest race in the world. I'm just wondering, is he as short in this race because punters are just remembering hot eclairs from last year? Maybe that's harsh. Weighed out next in then for Ollie Murphy. Definitely a nice horse. Brave Fortune, Iceberg Theory had his form enhanced there at the weekend, if I'm not mistaken, or on Monday actually at Leopardstown, sorry, if I'm not mistaken. And then you've got King of Answers, One Big Bang, and then I said hopefully 16's Bar because I got bored of typing at this stage. Luke, I'm going to come to you first for the National Hunt Chase, but who do you like?
Yeah, as you're saying, like, Back Near Sackby, you can't knock him. He looks like he's going to enjoy step up and trip, but he's kind of skinny enough now for what this race is. So I mentioned about King of Answers earlier on. Like, if he got in here, I'd have no question about his stamina getting home. I just think he might just squeeze into the Ultima, and they might just be tempted to let loose off the front. Guard the Moon, he looks like a tricky customer and needs it all to fall his own way for the Twist and Davis. But all fell well for him at Windsor the last day when he won. Like, the ones in front, it was Queensbury Boy was in front, and they got racing fairly early, and it just kind of fell apart. But he looks a dour stayer, and I'd imagine the step up and trip's going to suit him. He looks like one that has a bit of talent at a big price there. But the main one that I eventually came down on was Brave Fortune for Joseph O'Brien. He won his beginners last June for Pat Doyle over 3 mile 1, beating Uncle Pat. He took a while to get his head in front over hurdles, but once he got it together, he got 2 wins up. He ran a cracker. He's since switched to Joseph O'Brien. He ran a cracker the last day behind Rising Dust, who he was trying to give him a stone, and he was banging form after winning a few races beforehand. He looks ready to tackle these kind of marathon trips. He's in here off 138. I'd be interested in him around a double figure price. He's entered in the Midlands National at the weekend too, but if he took up this engagement, I'd be happy enough to take a chance on him each way.
All right, Brave Fortune then, if he runs. I was probably a little bit harsh on Newton Tornado because a few of the horses he's beaten at Doncaster have gone out and won. So apologies to Rebecca Curtis and co. But Deck, I'm coming to you next. Back me or sack me, or are you looking down the field?
I think, look, well, Luke mentioned the Midland National. Hey, I think you'd be mad not to go for the Midland National. It's worth more money than some of these races at Cheltenham. But that's just how I'd see things. I usually never look at this race until the day. I've very little interest in it, even the old version of it. But I just was having a squint there, and I noticed Mr. Coffee is in here. Who
11-year-old.
Last night, who's still a 0 from 19, ran in 4 or 5 Grand Nationals, and still a novice. So must be some sort of record. Look, at the moment, probably the neighbour 140. He was third of the grade 3 the last day. 12 lengths third to Kitzbühel on his chase debut. Like, that looks strong form to be running in a race like this, which is it's not good as a handicap. Like, I mean, it should go back a few versions. I think back to 4 miles and
back when it was impossible to get into the bleeding race.
Yeah,
do you remember the conditions when, like, if you're going back about 20 years, you were not allowed to have run over hurdles.
Yeah,
you had to have run in a point to point. I don't think you could have run under rules until that same season. I don't even know if you could have run the bumper.
Yeah,
it was.
Look, we have
punches down.
We have punches down every races like that, and we champion them, and we talk about how brilliant they are. Do we need another staying handicap chase? Like, it's just another staying handicap chase where they're going to go a yard slower than they do in the others. Like, let's be honest. Are we still amateur jockeys?
No.
So it's just another handicap chase, but they're going to go a yard slower, so we've the Ultima on the same day. I know this is to 145.
Played the same day as well.
You what?
We've to play on the same day as well. We'd be all night trying to get home.
You have to play the same day. You've the Ultima on the same day. Do we need just another handicap chase? Like, they've taken the best stage racing of the year off us. They've upped the points. They've changed the membership for next year.
I think they've kept the points stagnant, in fairness now. I think they're still 750. They had a high of 780, but they're back to 750 now.
Fair play to them. They won't let us bring them around in the plastic cups. They have.
Well, actually, they will let us take them out of the Arkle.
No, not the festival. Not the.
They let me do it on Trials Day.
Yeah, not the festival. No, there'll be fellas in yellow coats absolutely screaming at you because they've been given a yellow coat for the day. Thousands of the fellas, absolute thousands of them. Well, we're not allowed. You're not allowed run in a hurdle race for the first time. You're not allowed you have to have more than 3 runs. Like, they've just taken any fun out of it, and now we just have another. Don't get me wrong, I love staying handicap chases, but I don't need another one on Tuesday.
Yeah, no, don't blame me.
They're just going to go. It's just going to go a yard slower, take their time a bit more, and especially if it happened to be dominated by Irish horses and Irish jockeys. Like,
this is one of the few races the Irish are going to have one of the few handicaps the Irish are going to have a genuine chancing, because I, to be honest with you, there's a good few handicaps now where, well, like I know we don't get out of bed for the Ultima, but like there's a good few now where I don't think we have a prayer the way some of the English horses have been treated. Like you mentioned, what was it? Deep Cave, who won a Premier Handicap at Ascot on a Saturday, and like the handicap was almost embarrassed about more. So like it's
£1.
Yeah.
Like, imagine when he was sitting on the penalty for a few days.
Yeah. Probably a written apology probably came in the Royal Mail. Sorry about that. You had look. I'm sorry. Like if I'm giving this lad £4 for finishing third, beating 10 lengths in Ireland, I'm gonna have to give you £1 or two here. I do apologise. All you have to do is run the next day.
I can get back down to you, man.
So you're with the enabler then, Deck, after all that, is it?
I'm with the enabler, yeah.
Yeah, going on that Killiney Novice Chase form, which we'll get to in the next episode. But before I let you go here, lads, for the Tuesday, there's no nap at the tap. Like we were all over the shop here. So I'll get your naps of day one if you don't mind, and maybe your long shot as well. So Deck, I'll stay with you. Who do you like?
Oh, Jesus.
If you have one right now.
Me nap at day one. Look, day one, it's the multiples for me, and it'll be a proper Costa Rican. Like you'll have Heads Up Blake in the Supreme, Irish Panther and Break My Soul in the Arkle. I'll throw Ben Hur in there. If Secret Force gets in,
50 to 1, by the way. But anyway,
you are
50 to 1 shot Ben Hur. Just as
yeah.
Don't think we mentioned the price.
That's probably the shortest price of them, and that he's going to mention here.
I'm gonna throw in a British horse in Juvenile or a Canadian horse. I'll have Golden Ace and Cashel Lad, and I'll have the Capo and the Enabler. I'll be doing a 3 cent each way, Costa Rica.
Right, lovely. So Deck's nap is a recap of his selections. Luke, on to you. Your nap and your...
I'm not a nap in the south.
You've napped everything you've mentioned. But anyway, I respect that. Luke, on to you. Who's your nap and maybe your long shot of day one? I'm
nap will be
similar now. You say that, Duke or Deck. So anyway,
nap will be Kopek, and sure we'll go Leader Dalier's next best.
Why do we get this guy on?
No, Joe, I'll give a serious one. Will I give a serious one? I don't even know the lad. I don't even know they're going to run yet. Let me see. Jesus, this is tough, isn't it? Somebody asked me, Peter Rowe actually. Peter Rowe asked me the weekend, what's your banker at the meeting? And I had to pause. He just walked off. He said, "Oh, you obviously don't have a clue." Look. Jesus, it's tough.
But you've already given us your Costa Rican, so we don't want to force we three more podcasts to record here, but
look, come here. I'm gonna hit the ground running my heads up, and I know Blake's a big danger in there for me, but look, course and distance, he knows the place very, very well. He ran 3 miles around it twice this season. Heads up.
Heads up for Deck. Very good. Right, I'll be doing probably a lucky 15 on the first day, or a Yankee. Talk to Talk, who will be the nap. And then in the Arkle, Steel Alloy. I suppose Steel Alloy and Tutti Quanti, assuming he is supplemented, will be the long shots. And then the other one would be probably Jaguar. And hopefully I won't need Backbear sack me. But yeah, I suppose my main two for the first day would be Talk to Talk and Tutti Quanti in the Champion Hurdle.
Next best will Break My Soul then, so I'll just get off to the floor with the first two, straight down the 131 club. See you on Wednesday, lads.
Happy days. So what's that, 100 to 1 and 40 to 1 or something? Assuming they travel heads up. You're still about 1 million to 1 on the exchanges. Right, that's all we got time for on the first day of the Cheltenham Festival, TAP148. We are going to go straight into TAP149, so hopefully you guys will be sticking around to listen to us there. And if you're listening to us on the day, we hope we've delivered you a few winners. Keep like, sharing, subscribing. We'd love to hear what you say in the comments as well. So do let us know, and let us know what you think. We appreciate all the listens and interaction. And until next time, which is in a few minutes, guys. Bye bye.
Cheers.